Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the SAP. As always, your boy Dave Neal with Tasha Courtney and Alyssa Limperis.
Hello.
Thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Thanks for having me.
I've been, no pressure, but I've been hyping you up for several weeks.
Is that right?
Yeah. I was so excited. We met at the Rogue Island Comedy Festival in my hometown, Newport, Rhode Island. You're from, is it Seekonk?
Yeah, I'm from Seekonk, Mass, but then I went to school in Providence, Rhode Island, so I feel very connected to Rhode Island.
And then you live out here in Los Angeles.
Exactly.
So 3,500 miles away, here we are.
And not only that, but we both got tagged on Facebook from a mutual friend being like, you guys have to meet each other. And then we met even before maybe seeing the tag or something.
Right. I met you before.
Oh, yeah, that's what Dave said.
Yeah.
And so Seekonk, Massachusetts, that's home of the Speedway. That's where
home of the Speedway, that's right.
Are you aware of this, Tasha?
No,
Tasha from
what's the
Kentucky. She doesn't
Speedway?
know these New England things. The Seekonk Speedway is where you go to like drag race. It's like a racetrack.
Okay, we have like Indy Speedway and like all sorts
And
of...
the mall's over there. There's a lot of Christmas shopping over there.
Yes,
That's the place to go.
Yes, Christmas tree shops, Route 6. You
Now-
have what else?
At
Ooh,
today-
a
what-
Christmas tree shop.
What's today? November 2nd? Tasha starts listening. By the way, okay, so let's ask you this. What time of year should you start listening to Christmas music? What's the date?
Well, I like December. I mean, I think people are in November. What I don't like is when stations are only doing Christmas, and then I feel like
You got to lose the station.
you got to lose. I lose. I like country music, and I lose. I think 105.1 from like here on out.
They go full country?
I think they go full Christmas pretty soon.
Oh, no.
If I remember from last year.
Well, I'm okay. I've learned to live with Black Friday starting Christmas music.
Sure.
I've learned to live that, but I was kind of like a December 12th, December 15th, like home stretch Christmas music. Let's go for it. Tasha starts at midnight on Halloween.
You're okay. Okay.
I love Christmas music so much. And I just love Christmas. Like, I think it's the most wonderful season. And like, it only is a short window. Like, I want to get the full amount of enjoyment that I can possibly have.
Now, are you guys comfortable with LA Christmas? I'm still getting used to it's still hard for me even to be here. I miss snow. I miss cold.
That's the only part of New England you miss is the seasonal holiday
is this
vibe.
chunk. I think we're in the tough chunk of
you can't do
homesickness.
You can't do hot cider here.
It's just tough.
Yeah.
Like, literally, I had on a long sleeve dress this morning and was breaking out in a full sweat outside. Like, it's 90 degrees. It's crazy. It doesn't feel like the holidays. But what's good about it is that we're just a quick drive from like Big Bear.
That's
you know what
true.
I mean? And so we don't have to like deal with like the gross slush. You know how like in New England or just East Coast in general, like places where they have 4 seasons, like the snow is beautiful the first time it falls, and then
you slip on your ass at 7 a.m. trying to take out the trash.
And you're frigid cold all the time, and like this plow truck puts that gray shit on your driveway. Like it becomes ugly and gross very quick.
One of our loyal listeners is in Wisconsin, and they've already got like 6 inches of snow.
Yeah,
this week.
Chicago was snowing this week.
Colorado too. I've been seeing a lot of snow.
Yeah, no, we're good.
I mean, I'm kind of jealous. Like, I would love to go for like 3 days, and then I'll be maxed out, and then I'll feel good about. That's what's fun about like going home for the holidays. Is like hopefully you get a little bit of snow, you get to get your fill, and then that's it. You go back to your beautiful weather.
No, I agree. I don't think I really miss it. I think I just am glorifying it in my head, and so then when it's hot, it's like I can't believe it's November. It doesn't even feel. It feels. I liked even going home for the Rogue Island Festival.
Oh, that was great.
It felt nice.
Columbus
to even
Day
get
weekend.
some chill.
That's a good time.
Yeah, it was chilly.
Yeah.
Now the only way here's all you need to know to understand our relationship.
Okay.
We started dating 5.5 years ago. Tasha and I agreed every year we would switch which family we went home to for Christmas. So for the last 5 years, we've gone to Tasha's family for Christmas. That's all you need to know with where my balls are at in the relationship.
We go to his for New Year's. It's a nice tradition.
We've been to mine for New Year's like twice.
The classic family holiday, New Year's.
My family doesn't even drink or party.
Yes, all the family memories I have. Vomiting.
Does your family do like hard eggnog and
no,
like they don't drink?
My family was never a big drinking, a big eating family.
But because you're full
Greek,
Italian?
Full Greek, and then a little bit Italian.
Limperis is Greek. I'm sorry.
Limperis.
Oh,
yeah.
I just assume everything's Italian.
Well, I feel like I give off Italian.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of my like characters I feel have Italian energy.
So let's jump right into that. Your characters. So we watched your mom character Messenger this morning.
Hysterical.
Thanks so much.
I haven't got to that room yet. That's the funniest line. Because my mom lives. Don't go in that room. There's always a room in the house. Your mom's like, don't. It's like, what the fuck's in that room? Just a laundry pile.
I know, and it's like it's never the amount of filth I live in now. It's so crazy to think like the rooms they didn't want us to see. Yeah. Are you kidding? That's nicer. The rooms they didn't want me to see are nicer than any room.
Don't open that without me or whatever. The China cabinet. Yeah. No, it's great. Was that like your first viral video? Your first video that kind of like hit? Because that has millions of views on Twitter.
Yeah. Well, I worked at this company. I worked at Conde Nast for a while, so I made a lot of like me and this girl Emily Murnane. And I was just with Andrew Doherty, who I was like I just left him, and we were a very small team, and we made videos all the time. So we made a lot of like viral videos together as a team, where I would do a lot of different characters, like every type of person at a restaurant, every type of a person shopping. So I kind of learned how to edit and learned how to, make videos there. So I was very used to making videos. And then these mom videos were the first videos I made on my own that went viral.
Now, does your mom, does she like them? Does she take pride in that she's the source of your material? Does she own up to that?
Absolutely. And my mom films them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So my mom, my mom films them, and does
she give you line reads?
Yes. You're
doing it wrong.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't say that. Come on. I'm not going to say that. Yeah. No, but she's like, it's really helpful to do it with her because it helps it be nice to, like, I feel like it's when she's there, I'll never cross a line.
It's like shit talking. If you shit talk to someone's face, it's like a respect versus like behind their back.
Exactly.
If one of my buddies wants to make fun of me, to me, that's amazing. But if I find it from someone else that someone's making fun of me, I go, why did you just tell me that?
Exactly.
Now, because your mom impression is like, I heard, when I first heard it, I was like, that's Scarface. That's like a mom Scarface. Have you heard that before?
No.
It sounds like, do you know Scarface?
No.
Oh, that's who your mom's like. But Scarface was like a Cuban immigrant, and I guess as like a Greek mom, maybe there's like some, I don't know, there's some cross there between your moms. But anyway,
I thought Scarface was Italian.
No, he was a Cuban immigrant.
I'm an idiot. I've never seen it.
Oh, you gotta say hello to my little friend, and then and then he shoots everyone, right? Isn't that how it goes?
That's my mom.
But your mom's like a domesticated version of Scarface.
Yeah. No.
So you move out here. No, were you working at Conde Nast in New York? Like,
I was working at Conde Nast.
A beautiful building.
Beautiful building. I was working there, and then I moved here like maybe 6 months after I left there.
Did you have to take the leap to like full creative life? Because that's a bridge people have to decide to cross in their lives.
Yeah, that was like a terrifying bridge, I would say, because I probably didn't have enough. I wasn't like repped. I didn't have enough to like leave Conde, I don't think. But I was like, but I knew if I didn't like go on my own and start making stuff that I probably wouldn't get to the next stage.
So what was the final decision to take? Because we have the saying, leap in the net will appear. It's kind of like you don't always.
I think that's it. It's so counterintuitive though, and it's so scary. And also, my dad passed away, and we were very close, and he was very much like I relied on him a lot. So I was just talking to my mom about this yesterday. I think decisions became like extra hard for me. Like I just remember that decision feeling like, oh my God, I'm gonna like die.
Because New York to Massachusetts, that's only 4-hour drive.
Yeah.
But LA, that's a flight
bigger
plan.
One. Yeah, exactly. So I was really worried. But then I started making videos on my own, and I think that feeling of just like, okay, and once it's just funny, I think the second video I made, I went really viral, and that's when I ended up getting repped. And then once I got repped, all my reps were out here, and then it just kind of made that decision easy to be like, okay, I'll come move out here.
Interesting.
Yeah, but the decision to leave and like that was hard.
So your reps found you from the viral videos that you've been making?
In a way, yeah. I had a casting director like take me under her wing, and she was really wonderful, and she connected me with some.
Nice. And I saw you did a sketch on Conan this week.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fun.
Amazing. Congrats.
Yeah. Oh, thanks.
Tasha, we got a celebrity here.
I did a diarrhea sketch where I was like, I love poopy. It's so funny.
From Conde Nast, some like elegant magazine conglomerate to diarrhea.
Yeah.
But comedy, cool is the enemy of funny, right? So like you can't be.
It was so fun too. I love it. Conan. Everyone there is so nice and so deeply talented and funny. I love doing stuff there.
It's great. I mean, so what were you doing at Conde Nast? Were you doing anything in the comedy field?
Yeah, we were I was working for this website called Iris. It was like a digital brand, and it was all sort of like female run content. And Lauren Lumsden was like, she had a comedy background, and she was leading us. And so she was very much like, you guys can do some comedy stuff if you want. And me and Emily Murnane were both comedians. And so we were like, cool. So we kind of had this great job where we got to just make comedy videos on a,
and get paid.
Yeah.
Now tell me, how long have you been in LA? Fully?
A year and like a month.
Were you in your current relationship at the time that you decided to leave?
Oh, yes. We've been dating for, it'll be 4 years in like a month.
Wow, congratulations.
Thanks.
So
that was a long distance?
We
started when we were both together in New York. We met doing stand-up. Similar to maybe you guys a little bit. We were like friends first. And then when we were both single, then we started dating. Yeah.
And can I just tell you, so I don't know these people, but I like them. You see a cute couple, you go, these are nice people. But also I met you minutes before I met your boyfriend, and I'm just, and this is total narcissism, but I'm thinking, and he's like 6'6", good looking, tall, beautiful man. I'm like thinking, oh, he's gonna get jealous that she's talking to me. Just like, no, he's not. But anyway, I met you guys, and then
were you wearing that mustache?
Not yet. Otherwise, he would have definitely been jealous.
Yeah.
But then
he's gonna come punt when he sees the video of this podcast. Oh, he's gonna give you with your wife. Oh, he's gonna give you hell.
So we're at the Jane Pickens Theater. It's a beautiful theater. It's this oldest theater in Newport, Rhode Island, and then you're on stage. Wait, did I have that right? You're on stage. Yeah, you're on stage and we're on the wings, and then your boyfriend's watching you. And I take a photo of him watching you. Now, on one side, I'm thinking this is super sweet for you, but on the other side, I'm thinking this is super creepy for him. That he's gonna be like, "Who's this asshole taking photos of us?" But like, as the boyfriend engaged fiance who takes photos when of Tasha and things like that, I was like, "This is a good couple photo." Like, I think
it was very sweet. It was a very sweet photo.
Yeah, but I don't know. I was just like, it was both creepy and sweet at the same time. But I kind of operate from that boundary of creepy and sweet.
And that's the mustache. Yeah, that's
it's a good luck mustache too. This mustache is a booking machine. It really is.
I've heard that. I've heard mustaches or like glasses, just basically something that just makes you be like, oh yeah. Like
women have hair. You updo it. You do it. You bob it. You bangs it. We've got like goatees.
Yeah, it's true. You really can make a statement like with your hairstyle.
Yeah, it's true. Or makeup even.
Yeah.
Now, so what kind of conversation happens where you because did it happen where you go, I'm not moving to LA, and then you had a thought where you go, or am I? Can I make this work? Did you have that conversation with him? What was the communication like?
I mean, I will say when I was like 18, I was like graduating high school in Rhode Island. And I really wanted to move to LA then and act. And I was like I really wanted to do that. And so I think my whole life I've wanted to be in LA. And then I just ended up going to school on the East Coast, and then New York made sense because I got a job there. And then it kind of just happened. So when I had like my reps in LA, and the minute they were like, we want you to move out here, I will say it was like pretty much,
it was an easy decision.
And like, I think what's so great about me and my boyfriend's relationship is like, we are very career focused. So I think it was like, yeah, that's what's good for your career. And like, I recognize that New York's better for his career. So it became just like, okay, we'll just, make this work. But it was really hard. I remember getting that call when we were in the room together, and it was equal parts, like really exciting. And then also really, it was like a very, it just happened. It was like wild emotions where it was like, oh my God, this is like both the happiest day of my life in this regard, and then almost the saddest day of my life in this regard.
But it's great for him to have his long-term girlfriend move to the city that everyone ends up being in for one reason or another in the industry.
I think so. And I think that's kind of...
You're not in Des Moines.
Exactly. Exactly. It's like he comes out here a lot, and his family's actually out here. So
that's good.
Yeah. So it wasn't like, right, I'm moving to Argentina. It was like, well, I'll probably be there anyway soon. It's just...
Now, how do you guys separate comedy shop talk in relationship talk? Do you have to like get each other out of the zone? Or is it just all entwined?
Yeah, I think it's all entwined. I think we talk a lot about comedy. I guess we don't sometimes, but we do talk a lot about comedy.
Are you more comedy, or are there serious elements to the relationship?
Oh yeah, I mean, look, we started dating a month after my dad died, so he like was a very large part of my healing process and just dealing with trauma, and like, my mom was grieving, and my mom lived with me in New York while we were dating. So I think because so many parts of our relationship have been like so heavy and riddled in grief and sadness, that almost then the other side is full comedy and fun and laughter. He makes me laugh so much.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Well, because a lot of times when comics date each other, there's good and bad, right? You understand what each other's going through. For our relationship, Tasha obviously doesn't do comedy, but she's got the eye for criticism that comics have. Yes. Where she'd be like, "What the fuck's wrong with this thing?" You know what I mean? She's you're. Are
you saying I'm funny?
Yeah, you'll say stuff that makes no sense. Like, we've been trying to kill all these flies. They're all gone now, but we had a fly trap right there.
I was wondering what that was.
And we have these fly rackets that we bought. And
yeah, it's just one of those things. Dead of summer, like a lot of flies got in our house, and it was like a complete nightmare. So gross.
And it was the day I got back that all these larvae hatched. Yeah, and they came out of nowhere. I mean, we live in this fucking Koreatown, Los Angeles. Like, there's always something. But we never had this issue before. But they came out of nowhere. And then there was one left. I come home and she was like dead serious. She goes, "We got a Top Gun over here."
You've been like dive bombing me all day. I'm like holding this stupid racket trying to get the fly.
But there is something about the irreverent shit that bothers both of us. Like, we've got different ticks of like, it's not necessarily like, that's why whenever like we'll fight over things that are stupid, but I'll go, okay, we don't have like some huge moral sort of issue with each other. We've just got like little things that both set us off.
Well, isn't that normal?
No, but sometimes
in relationship?
I think I remember like talking about it as like, I feel like you meet certain people and you're like, oh, we have the same like core. Like there's certain people you meet and you're just like, oh, we have the same. We're just like, we see the world very similarly. And once you have that, then yeah, I think you can excuse all the other little things because you're like, oh, it's so nice to share this like worldview, or like that's what loneliness is. It's like not sharing that. It's being at a party and being like, no
isolated.
one here, isolated. It's like that's the is like, I don't know why, but I feel so different than I don't feel like I'm enjoying this the same way everyone else is. That's a really lonely feeling. I feel like I felt that a lot of my life. And then comedy, I feel like I feel the opposite of that.
What sort of guys have you dated that you've like learned does not work for you? Has there been that, or is
God, it feels so long ago
since you dated. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, oh my God. Yeah, I think that like this is a weird, hard career. And so it was always hard to date people who weren't in it, because it was just like my life is very unpredictable and like I'm out a lot and I don't have a lot of stability. So anytime I dated someone who wasn't, I mean, to be fair though, 4 years ago, it's like I was dating people before I was really, I guess, doing comedy. So,
but like, how does your boyfriend deal with knowing you're, for the most part, a late night art form? You're out at, you do stuff at night, you're in sketches where like the boundaries aren't the same of like an HR position. You know what I mean? It's not the same as like a corporate job where like you might be in a short the film with somebody where you've got to like show romantic interest, or comics that want to be writing partners with you and all that shit. Does he like, does he communicate with you like if something's annoying him, or is he just cool?
Yeah, I mean, I think because he's in it too, it's like, it goes both ways. Like, he's also going to be in films where he's like,
he's a hunk.
He's a hunk. He's 6'6". Come on, he's tall.
So one thing guys are always jealous of that we'll never. I was telling Tasha this before that like I used to know all the heights of all the NBA players, because I was like, you guys are like height obsessed. Because like, you can be fat and still be like, oh, someday I'll get skinny, but you cap off at 5'11", and even at a strong 5'11", Tasha still thinks I'm like 5'9", like she's some height queen. And it's like, I'll never be 6'3". We have some friends, never be 6'3". I'm like, and then because it's like a dominant thing. Like when I met your boyfriend and you were on stage was when him and I were like talking for the first time, and I'm like looking up to him. I'm like, even if I'm not, it's like those like dictators, right? They'll like lower their hand when they shake another president, so the president looks down, then they take the photo, and then it shows the president bowing down. Oh. There's like this psychology of like alpha who's got the higher ground.
Totally.
Our dog's always trying to like be on top of all the pillows.
Yeah.
Like there's just like this thing, and then your man's, he's up there.
He's huge.
6'6".
It's like, and yeah.
No, but do you get jealous of chicks that are going to be, because I feel like when a guy's on stage doing his stand up and he's a very talented comic, there's going to be women in the audience who are going to be melting over that.
Well, this is the thing I was talking to Luke about, is like, it's so interesting. I think like Luke, he'll do stand. I think if he were single, or if he does stand up, he has a lot of like, females who will have like interest in him after a show. I don't think that that's really the same for like me after I get
for
off
girls
for stand up. I don't think it's the same like, oh, I didn't think she was like that hot, but then she killed, and now I want to like. I don't think it's works
like a
that
different societal value system for men and women. Like, I think so. For men, it puts them in like a position of sort of like not power, but sort of power. It's like it like raises them on the hierarchy to be funny. It's like a very valued
we talked about this
for a man.
Last episode on our Halloween episode about how like men do well out at the bars with a funny Halloween costume,
right?
But like men don't care if a woman's got a funny costume,
right?
Men, I mean, for the most part, I mean, it's like that's nice that you have a sense of humor, but I'm looking at your ass. It sounds so horrible to say, but like there's a reason they don't have that many sexy men's costumes. It's always like something stupid funny.
But I'm always like really blown away by that. There's still people who will like openly say on the internet, like, I don't like women aren't funny.
Oh yeah, that's
that's such a crazy.
I think it's insecurity. I think it's that men for men being funny is a thing they can have and they can control. So even if whatever they can, okay, I'm funny. That's the thing. And then if women are funny, if
it's like you're taking it away from them.
I think so. And so even if I'm like funny on stage or something, I think in a way certain men might even be turned off by that because I'm taking away maybe their
spotlight or the potential spotlight.
It's true.
And I remember with Luke, like I remember it felt so freeing to just be like, oh, because we both have this, it cancels out and now we can just both be like, humans. I'm not entertaining you. You're not entertaining me. We're just like, that's what we do. But then when we're together, we're just like together.
When you're touring internationally and he's your strong feature act, I'll be in the wings taking creepy photos. That'll be my job of you guys. But yeah, you're right that like I don't hear from other comics ever that women aren't funny.
No, ever.
So while you do hear that online, I do think there is a type of internet and people that don't understand comedy till they see it at the top level. So like a lot of times they don't value something till it's like got some major credit attached, and I'll be like, I know 1,000 comics that are way funnier than whatever you think is funny, but that's just how it is, So like I don't know. I think men.
And not every person is every person's cup of tea.
Right.
Like there are plenty of female comedians that I'm not a huge fan of, but like my favorites, like Ali Wong, like I sob every time she has a special.
She's incredible.
Like it's so good.
And you're so right. It's a numbers game. It's like not every right. It's like if not everyone is everyone's cup of tea, but if you're offered 20 cups of tea on the male side and 3 on the female side, and if those 3 don't happen to be your cup of tea and 3 men don't, well now you have 17 men you think are funny and 0 women. So then it's like, women aren't funny. It's like no.
We have the benefit of maybe bombing and not bombing because we're a guy.
Right.
And I don't know. I mean, no male comedian wants to follow a beast of a female comedian. You know Deborah DiGiovanni? It's like, the fuck, nobody's going after that.
Nobody. Deborah is the funniest person I've ever met. Do you
remember her, Tasha?
Yeah. Oh, she is, I am like blown away. She makes me cry. I mean, she makes me cry. We've
been trying to get her on our Mimosa show and also you on our Mimosa show. You're not around for this one, right? But next one, maybe December or something, you can do it. Our next one's November 16th. One of our listeners is coming to LA and getting a hotel to come watch our show.
Oh my God.
It's kind of no pressure, but it's become a cult kind of thing. You get a small intimate audience. It's in this comedy cafe that looks like sort of the Central Perk from Friends.
Okay, fine.
It's got that sort of vibe to it. 11 a.m. baby. 9 liters of champagne. We mix them together and we just go after it.
Oh my God, fun. Yeah, Deborah is like, she's just. Yeah. Wow. She's so freaking.
But you've got that. You know what I mean? You've got that like energy where you're not out there just rattling off one. You know what I mean? There's a force to it. There's a force to like. I think, and I heard this recently. Someone said this about Bill Burr, and I know Tasha hates when we go like deep into comedy, but we're talking about women as well, so it counts.
Yeah.
She just hates it when we'll go like super inside baseball with it. But like, someone mentioned how Bill Burr or Dave Chappelle told Bill Burr he would take longer to hit because he's kind of more of a storyteller, and it's a bigger thing than just like a setup and a punch. And I feel like with good comedy, it's like building that hurricane can be harder because it's like a Joey Diaz is like a fucking crazy beast of a comic, and like once he gets you going, he ramps it up. But like you can't, if you were to try to like blow a torch on a set of twigs, it would just blow the twigs out of the way. You wouldn't light it on fire. He's like perfect at like starting a fire and then fucking just burning the whole place down.
Totally.
And that's like something that's just Deborah's like that, where she's probably the funniest comic that's coming out of Canada, or one of them. And there's a lot of hilarious comics in Canada. But anyway, so if you had to, I was thinking about this the other day, if you had to, like, how would you sum up your dating history, but also like position in your family hierarchy? Like, are you able to look back at how you got to where you are today and see what your neediness is, what you need from your family, from a relationship, and all that?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think it's very, I'm still dealing with this because I feel a huge switch when my dad got sick. Almost like it's almost, I don't even really remember like life and who I was like before that. But I never grew up needing a lot from like my boyfriends. I was never really like not monogamous, but I was like, I would date someone for like a few months and then move. Like I was never someone who like always had a boyfriend for a couple years. It was like I would date people for a few months. I would just kind of, I was never.
But it wasn't like a major priority for you?
It wasn't a major priority for me because I think I really derived a lot of like my basic needs and safety from my family, I think. So I almost probably didn't need a lot from my
You're not trying to like fill a hole with a relationship, like a teenage relationship.
Or maybe even like, I almost wonder if it was like less healthy than that. I wonder if it was almost like, I was so like, I was guarded almost because I was like, I wasn't being vulnerable because I had everything I needed at home. So then I was able to just be like, whatever, I can be like a cool girl. I don't need anything from a relationship. Like whatever. And then once, once my dad was sick, it was like, oh no, of course you need to lean on someone. Like a good relationship is being like, oh, I do need this from you and you need this from me. And like, we're going to work.
Yeah.
Like Luke's the first person where it's like, we like worked through stuff. Whereas before my dad was sick, it'd be like the minute something popped up, I'd be like, bye. I don't need like,
We've had that a lot where it's like we've, a lot of times if we have a fight or something, in Tasha's eyes, I think she thinks like, well, I got to move on. This is over. And I'm but I've got that codependent stick where I'm like, no. We're going to figure this out.
Right.
Well,
I think, yeah.
That's probably the reason our relationship has worked,
of
to
course.
be honest. That's the reason like it has lasted as long as it did, because I definitely think that I'm the kind of person that's just like, okay, can't do it. And I think I always dated other people that were like, can't do it.
Yeah.
And then we just broke up.
Yeah.
And
two counter-dependence, there's no magnet there.
Right.
And maybe you were counter-dependent towards other relationships because you had the thing that you needed to be codependent towards. So you had something to lean on, and then it was taken away. We've talked about this because I think with like love languages, we talk about filling up your well. I think there's a collective need in the well. Are you familiar with like the love languages?
Yes.
So it's like there's a collective need. So like what I can get from my mom, I don't need from Tasha.
Correct.
What Tasha can give me, I can't get from my friends.
And I'll tell you this: what I'm really working on in therapy is what if I could get all that from myself, and then what if everything I need is inside of me?
That's an option.
And I'm like, I don't find it. It's not here. But like what if I can find all that on my own? So then I can.
Now, do you have a fear that if I'm totally projecting here, but do you have a fear that if you can find it all on your own, that you won't need your relationship?
You'll unravel
your life? It will be a much healthier. I think it'll be a much healthier way to have a relationship, because then you're not just like I think you should, if I can, like, even moving to LA, it's been good because I like have a life and then we can just enjoy each other, versus like, we need to be everything for each other.
You don't want to overshadow this. That's a hard thing with relationships, is you can't have one thing be stronger than the other. You have to like be side by side.
That's it.
And then a lot of relationships, they're just crossing paths. So when that path is crossed, you just grow apart.
Yeah.
And you never want to grow apart. And if you can avoid it, I think the ways to avoid growing apart is that like just like find your value in yourself. I think we both find our value within ourselves, but I think also I show my cards like way too, like, you're going to win every fight we ever have. You know it.
What are you talking about?
You know you're going to win every fight we ever have, because I'm going to try to resolve the fight more so than try to be right. And I think
that's such bullshit. That's so far from the truth. More than try to be right. Well, you're the most stubborn, unwilling to admit your mistakes person I know.
I agree with you.
And there it is.
Proving you wrong. I agree with you. Do you find that with Luke, where have you guys figured out how to like, sort of like what your fighting method is? And when I say fighting, I mean like trying to get your points across in a respectful way, but knowing that not everybody, is ready to just sit down and have a heart to heart. Like some people need time or space, or some people like to solve it right away.
Yeah. I don't really, I guess.
Do you feel like you guys fight fair?
Yeah, I think we fight fair. I probably have more of a temper. I am probably more like emotional, and he's probably the one who's more able to just be like, all right, let's that's fine.
This is, again, and we talk about so many gender roles that, like, if you posted this on Facebook as a status update, I'd be blogged about. But I feel women, I mean, you have a lot of emotions. You create children.
Everyone has emotions.
But women, but like, while you have to be at a certain place at a certain time of the month to like procreate and have a baby. Men can just spread our seed and pop boners wherever we want. You have to be like the emotional foreplay that has to happen to get Tasha in the mood of like everything's got to be right. She's not having sex if the blinds aren't positioned in the right way. Like, you live in a very specific world, whereas I don't. So I've had to learn how to like cope and do this sign language that Tasha needs for us to coexist. I think that like men have to be steadfast and like sturdy and around this dancing of emotions that can happen in a relationship. Doesn't happen all the time. Again, it can be flipped the other way, where like a woman has to be steady if the guy's like
right. I don't know if it's necessarily always gendered that way, but I think
at all. Yeah, it's like everybody has emotions. Everybody brings their baggage. Everybody brings their own like upbringing, whatever that makes them who they are.
But if we
have to be delicate in order to get along with each other
and just know what our triggers are. Like, I know when we're traveling, I got to be the guy who takes care of the making like we're gonna be flying. I got the Uber, this, because you're gonna be packing. Your thongs are gonna be flown everywhere. You're gonna be a mess. You're gonna be that, like, I know what flares your limbic. We talk about flaring the limbic system.
Ooh.
I know what flares her limbics. That's like always a nice way of being like, you're being a fucking cunt. Natasha, your limbics are flaring quite high right now. What did you call me? Just said your limbics. They're a little all over. But then again, like, if I have a show or like a big thing and I'm just like, nervous energy, you just need to know to walk away. You need to know to like give me my space, because I'm just going to be like, and it's just like, we live in such a small, close environment that we have to know when our emotions aren't going to like affect the others. And
it's like a dance. It's like dancing. Yeah.
Now I got to do my ad read. Are we excited for this or what?
I'm excited.
We got Manscaped is our sponsor this week. Have you heard of Manscaped?
I have not.
You haven't heard of Manscaped?
Well, I mean, manscaping I've heard of.
Are you a fan of manscaping?
Yes.
You like a trim
from Rhode Island.
Yeah.
Yeah. Every man in Rhode Island has better, manicuring of their genitalia.
Is that a Rhode Island thing that we have?
I think so.
Oh, I would have had no idea.
I think Rhode Island men are very like,
So Manscaped is the number one, they're number one in men's below the belt grooming, and they offer precision engineered tools for you and your man's family jewels. So they actually sent me a lawnmower 2.0, which is their new wireless, their waterproof razor. Let me tell you something. I've been buying my ball trimmers from, I'll just say it, TJ Maxx, and whatever they sell at TJ Maxx, there's something wrong with the product.
100%. Yes.
I mean, yeah, sure, you can get a t-shirt or whatever, but don't go there to buy whatever you're trimming your balls with. I've cut my balls before and not necessarily noticed right away, and it can be a gory sight. I'm not going to lie to you. It's worth spending the extra money. And anyway, so Manscaped, they've got this special little plastic protector. I used it right away. It came in. I charged it up.
No nicks
on the ball sack. And then you can get, you need a full trim. I got the Irish curse, all potatoes, no meat. You need to get as much illusion to the length as possible. TMI, Tasha?
Tasha's like, TMI, no, I know that.
I looked good with it. It's a product I was going to buy before they became a sponsor and sent to me. So they've got different products, right? They've got like this little ball lotion that refreshes you. And so I got one for you. So this is called the Crop Reviver. Your man can travel from New York to LA. He just spray a little Crop Reviver. It's a toner and refresher with a pH balance there for him. You didn't think
I guess after a long flight, that's a handy thing to have.
You got to revive your crop. You got to smell good. They have cologne products. They have all these different things, and it's like a membership. So every month they can give you different things. Anyway, if you use the code SAP at manscaped.com, you get 20% off and free shipping. Again, that's SAP. That is the code at manscaped.com. They were on Shark Tank.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. These are things that men never talked about. Like we're not in this caveman society anymore. We need to look good out there. You're out there running around. You're an Uber driver, 16 hours a day. It's a fucking disaster out there.
You got your balls out all day. You're an Uber driver.
They're stuck to your side of your leg. That's all over the place. I'm using a trimmer, and I'm not gonna lie. This TJ Maxx trimmer that I had, you had to operate it like an
actual lawnmower.
When you had to make sure you didn't touch skin because it was that it was gonna fucking. You ever have a ride on lawnmower and you kind of hit like a t-shirt or something and it just snags the lawnmower? That's what it was doing to my balls.
Oh my God.
But I was like, it's the one I have.
The balls feel so fragile to me. I'm like, in my head, if you nick a ball, something spills out. Whatever. In my head,
you can rip a ball sack so easily.
Yeah.
This dude, you know the churches have that spire at the top of the gates or whatever. This dude in Newport he tried to rob a church and jumped. He was running from the cops, jumped over the fence and got his balls stuck on one. I'm not kidding. It's a sack of organs that just hang out there, and then they hang or they're tight depending on the heat. I mean, it's a fucking wild system that we have, and that's the best thing that they figured out over thousands of years. But anyway, so I used to have to just kind of go over without touching anything, like that game Operation. You remember the game Operation with the tweezers? You try to not
very precise.
If you touched it would just trim. And anyway, we're getting too personal. But I wanted to be really personal with this ad read because I feel
below success.
Yes.
I wanted to write. I was like, maybe 30 minutes into you getting to know us, we could be comfortable enough to tell you about my ball trimming history. But they actually say they say it's good to have a separate one for your balls rather than your face. I used it for both.
No,
you used it on your face.
I don't see the problem with that. I don't see the problem using face. It's got like 5 different trimmer sizes. Is that disgusting to you?
I cannot even, because you know what this makes me think. I'm like, if you're thinking this,
then
my boyfriend probably thinks this, and I got razors in my shower, and I'm sure when he comes, he's doing a little tour.
You have no idea what your man's doing with your bath and body products. You get the loofahs. If you have that long loofah with the rope, he's used that. He's ridden that to death. I'm telling you. I didn't realize how much of a savage I was till we would start showering together. So I have to do it because you'd be like, "What the fuck?" You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway, so. Call to action, 20% off, free shipping with the code SAP at manscaped.com. 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com. Let me know, by the way, if Luke didn't think I was a creep yet.
You're worried about taking a gentle picture. Now you're sending him a ball reviver.
But I've always been, I think it'd be good. We've never really done this, but because, by the way, women are fucking nuts with how quickly and precisely. You ever see the cartoon where Elmer Fudd's getting his head shaved at the barber shop and they've got the straight razor and they're just doing it like this and they're just shaving That's how Tasha is shaving her vagina. And I feel like I'm watching this as a guy being like, how the fuck do you trust in your motor skills like that?
Yeah, years, 10,000 hours we have.
We're experts.
You've literally Malcolm Gladwell your vaginas to a perfect. I don't know, but I'm just watching because I'm like, Jesus Christ. I mean, because shavings, guys don't need to shave. We don't, but like a trim's fine. You know what I mean?
Well, anyway. It's true because I guess we're getting close to the entryway. With a ball, it's still exterior, whereas there is something I'm sure, it's scary to watch because we're going close to. Because
you balls, they can go from wrinkly. There's this bat wing of sheath of skin. So if you wanted to shave it, you'd have to just
stretch it out.
You'd have to really stretch it.
Guys,
if
ladies,
you're listening and you're not watching this, Doug just moved his hand about a foot above his body.
That's a lot of extra skin.
That's a lot of
you
ball.
want to see something really gross?
Yes.
Give me your arm.
Show.
Here we go.
Show. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You want to talk about?
So that's why there's a lot of extra
there's a lot.
skin.
Yeah.
He wasn't exaggerating. No, I'm just kidding.
Folks, tune into the YouTube, folks. For
you're gonna.
listeners
Wow.
Here.
Oh,
I don't know. It's fine. I mean, so this is the guy. 4 years.
So
that's
4
big.
years. Yeah.
Is he going to move out here? Or are you still?
Yes, I think next week he's going to come here for a little bit. I think it's like I was just there every weekend for the past 4 weeks pretty much for work. So luckily it's like we've been seeing each other a lot. So it's been, it's been hard but easy enough because we've been back and forth.
Do you think it would be tough to go back to living together?
Well, I think it's definitely going to be like, I think it'll be tough in some regards, but also it's been so tough to not have each other that I think the excitement of just like getting to be with each other and like watch TV and eat food at the end of the night and like not call with a 3-hour difference, and it's like it's
having a FaceTime.
The simple things I think we're going to look forward to.
We barely made it 6 days when I was in New York or on the East Coast when I was in Rhode Island. I mean, yes, I was gone. It was a tough month. He was gone
like the whole month.
I was gone for 10 days, but she was in Newport for the first like half of that time. So like we probably spent a total of 10 to 12 days not together, which is not a lot, but it was like, yeah, it's tough. I'm over there. My eyes are bleeding. I'm just like so exhausted. I'm trying to stay awake because she's on the left side, and it's just, it's weird. But I mean, technology's never been better to do long distance.
Exactly. Yeah.
But at least you guys have a goal towards the like end of the long distance.
So it's never felt like, when's this going to end? It's always like, eventually we will both live here.
If you don't have goals, if people listening, if you don't have goals to like live back together, you're just slowly killing your relationship. I think
that's how it feels. Yeah, someone told me that early on. Like, you just have to always have the next trip planned, and you have to always know that it's gonna come to an end. And if you have those things, then like psychologically, you can be okay.
The long distance is gonna come to an end,
exactly,
or the relationship. I mean, hey, look, I always tell Alyssa all the time. Like, look, I think the best, healthiest thing for our relationship is to go like, look, we're not trying to grow apart. We're not trying to not make it work, but like, I think it's a smart thing to go like, we're working against a lot of things in society that pull people apart. So it's good to know that like it's not easy, because then you can continue to know that just because we got engaged, I mean, geez, just getting engaged didn't change any of our problems.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah. You know, and then it's like when you get married, you can't become the chump who goes, I got her, I can just be a piece of shit now. Like you're probably, Tasha, not going to change your level of like what you need, how you need your love.
No, that's what everybody says. It's no different than just dating.
But it was fun. I got to tell you this, because we haven't really talked about this. We haven't had anyone on the podcast yet since we've announced our engagement, but it was pretty fun how loving people are. I wish people were this loving normally in society.
Totally.
It was like your birthday when people like message you, but times 1,000.
I bet. And like people say that about their wedding day too, that it's just so like such a really nice feeling of love, and like you're surrounded by so many people who support and love you.
Yeah. Because it's not about the attention. It really isn't. There's comics that I feel like we get enough attention.
It's about feeling like you're a part of a community, and that all of these people love and support you.
I think so.
These are people that like show up to let you know, like, we are a part of your family. We're going to support you. We're going to lift you up. We want you to succeed.
Yes. And that's a feeling we don't get a lot. Yeah. Attention is like, you can get attention in a lot of ways. Like, but that feeling of support and feeling a part of a community and loved, that's like,
comics that I'm not even friends with. Like I went to I was on a show, whatever, last week, and this one dude, Jeff, I'm like, I don't even know him that well. We've always been nice to each other, but he was like, from across the bar, he's like, man, congratulations. Like, really good for you. And I was like, whoa, like men don't, with my close friends, I get that support, but men don't do that whole like personal thing, so you don't know where you stand with other people till they're like, oh man, like I'm so happy for you. Like, really? I didn't think, because women are easy. I just got engaged. They wouldn't even, like, I mean, people, because we got engaged the first day, the second day we were in Thailand, and I was like, this is great, I'm gonna use the engaged card the whole trip, tell people we just got engaged, and people are like, oh nice. I'm like, no, today. They're like, what? This is great. Meals on us.
God. So how did you plan it? If it was
I didn't know if I was going to get the ring till that like a few days before, just because I waited to see it, and I wanted to know if it was ready, and then I finally got it. I think the day before we left, and then I had to hide it in the podcast gear, get it through customs in China. They're inspecting every little thing, and not even in English. And I can see the ring on the X-ray screen. Tasha's looking right at it, doesn't see the ring there.
Holy shit!
And then I hide it,
I didn't even think about that aspect.
I can't leave it in the safe because she's in charge of the safe, and Tasha knows everything that goes in the safe. So there's no putting a ring in the safe.
Oh my God. Then did you keep it on where you keep it on?
I had about a day where I just left it in my luggage in our villa at this resort.
Were you on edge all day?
No, because I got insured.
Okay.
So I was like, fuck it. But I mean, that which really does help your side, because I'm not an insurance guy. I'm not on health insurance, and my car insurance is the shittiest you get. I'm not an insurance guy. I think insurance is such a scam. But at that, I'm like, all right, this ring could, you could just slam it in your car door. You know what I mean? Anything could happen to it.
I think, or just,
robbed, lost, slipped off, anything. Or just it could just fracture. I've heard of diamonds that, they're strong, but they can have faults that weren't. Anyway.
Even diamonds have bad days. Come on.
So the more I was like, oh, geez, and the insurance, it's actually relatively cheap for what it is. And then, so I was just like, fuck it. We're good. No one's going to rob us. I mean, because like no one knows, whatever. We didn't flaunt it. But then once I propose to you.
Have you told the story yet on the podcast?
Yeah, last episode. But,
okay, then we don't have to.
No, it's on a beach on a tiny island. So it's just us, you know.
Oh.
But control freak like she is, as soon as she knew it was happening, she tries to touch me to see where the ring is. And
I was not expecting it at all. So as soon as what happened was he turned around and his face was like ashen. Like he looked like really like horrible. And he was shaking and his like shirt was shaking. And so at first I was like, what's wrong? But a half a second later I was like, oh my God. Like I know what's happening. And then I just completely blacked out. Like I was in such shock, but
that feels like success to me.
I bombed the speech. It was rough.
She didn't remember.
It was a rough. She goes, baby, what did you say? Oh, you don't need to know. Yeah,
I love that
tough.
though. I think that is so cool that even you guys have been dating for 5 years and that you still, get that nervous and that you were blacked out in excitement. I think that's really cool. That makes me think, that's like...
My only worry is that her sister's getting married in about a year. And
we gotta beat them to it.
Well,
we gotta beat them to it.
Okay, listen to this. Get this. This is funny.
Do not start.
So we just assumed we have to wait at least 6 months after my sister. So we're like, okay, we're looking at a year and a half at least. So we don't need to start planning anytime soon. Well, my mom takes the liberty of asking my sister if she cares if we get married before her.
Jeannie, you're killing me, Jeannie.
Yeah, because we started talking about...
Jeannie, of course, thinks you guys planted that seed in Jeannie.
Oh, Jeannie.
Yeah. So I don't know,
Jeannie.
but because we want to do like a tiny destination thing.
Okay.
And my sister's doing like the big traditional wedding in Kentucky.
Okay.
She still lives in Kentucky, so all of our family is there. So she just has more freedom to do the traditional thing.
Destination weddings are like a bringer show. The more people you get to go, the more free shit you get, the more stage time you get.
Oh my God,
you know
so
what I mean?
true. And also only the true blues are coming.
Exactly. That's how you help keep the guest list small.
That's right.
Is like we're only inviting a small number of people anyway. Yep. And then hopefully, people will be like, no, it's too far. It's too much hassle for us, whatever. And that'll help keep it small.
Then we'll meet people while we're in, the Cayman Islands. And we'll be like, we're doing it at noon tomorrow. Come on. We're a little light on the numbers. We'll just patch you in for the photos. But yeah, I'm glad we're on the same page.
But yeah, as soon as we started talking about it with the moms, because they were all together recently.
This is the best part.
They're like emailing like resorts that we should look at. Like they're so into it. Like I think they just want to go on vacation, and that's why my mom's like, no, your sister said it's totally fine. You can do it this summer.
Eat it, Jeannie. Eat it. Let me tell you something. Let me give you the only advice I can give you.
Please.
The only advice that I think we did right was we waited 5 weeks. I think we should
6 or 7, babe.
Well, let's call it 6.
We
should write a book. The 6 weeks, and it's the 6 weeks where you get to tell your friends and family in person before you let the world know, because there is something vacuous about the love you get online.
Right.
Like, there's something that's just hollow. It's a hollow egg.
Or you'll get the comment that says unfollow. I got one of those.
No, you didn't.
I want to follow that. Oh, I'm going to follow him.
Oh my God.
Some people are ridiculous.
But
it was a quick block. Like, who cares?
Yeah.
But either way, it was, we got to run into people in Trader Joe's and tell them. We got to tell our friends. We took a bunch of videos of us telling people. We'd get a selfie video. I'm like, we're just going to get... So we got to do all that. We got both of our parents knew, because we told them to plan the trip. So we planned a trip to Rhode Island the weekend before Rhode Island Comedy Festival. Her parents came to Newport. We had an engagement party where like almost everybody, I think everyone knew that we were engaged except for my sister and my brother. And then because people were like bringing gifts, and my sister's like, what the fuck's going on? And people that we need, my mom's inviting, your mom's probably the same way. My mom's inviting people I don't even know.
Of course.
And I'm like, they're
like kissing you.
So my sister Chase, she goes, and she's been asking us for fucking 5 years, when you get married. But Chase goes up to me. She goes, is this an engagement party? Because we haven't hit the surprise yet. She goes, is this an engagement party? And I go, Chase, would I really invite these random strangers to an engagement party? And she's like, yeah, you're right. This is not an engagement. And then we did it, and then we announced it, and then we waited a few more weeks, and then finally we get back to LA, and we've taken a bunch of engagement and wedding photos, because as Tasha models, we've done wedding shoots and everything before. So we've got all these fake engagement photos, but which we've taken with full teams of florists and photographers and all this shit. But we haven't had our own. So I think it was last weekend. Was it only last
really
2 weekends? So we took that on a tripod.
I mean, those looked
Those
amazing.
are selfie photos.
That's I mean, that's all. Yeah.
So that was nice that in the actual moment of the engagement and the photos, we kind of were just alone.
Yeah.
We didn't have any of the rigmarole because for the engagement, no one was on the beach. It was which is fine. Like, do it in the restaurant, do whatever you want. How did Chelsea how did they propose? Tasha's sister?
They were was it Spain or Italy? They went to Italy first, and it happened in Spain, right? Unless I have the two backwards. But they had a first vacation, and we were all like, oh, he's definitely proposing on this vacation. You know, it's like their first big European vacation. Didn't happen. But he's in med school. That. So then after that didn't happen, we were all like, oh, okay, well, he's probably just waiting till he's out of med school. Like, it makes sense. Like, he's going to take his time. It's fine. But they've also been dating a long time, way longer than we have. And but then the second trip in Spain, everybody was like, well, he would have
done it the other way. I love
and then
that.
he did in Spain.
Smart.
And but it was like on a beautiful bridge with like some cathedrals or something, you know, like in the background. And he did the same thing. I think he had set up a tripod and said like, you know, like, oh, let's just take a picture together. And then it wasn't a photo, it was a video. Smart. So then she's like, huh? And they got it on video.
You should see the video of me hitting the record button on the tripod and looking into the lens. Because you know how, like, you ever said I look like Survivor Man? I looked fucking disheveled. It was 1,000% humidity. I'm sweating through my linen shirt. My finger was bleeding because I had just cut myself on a plant. And I'm just fucking not angry, but just the level of stress and anxiety for what is about to happen. You know what? I should release that to the Patreon. I should release the first 5 seconds.
I think you should.
If you're listening, go to patreon.com/the SAP, patreon.com/THESAP. I'm always selling some shit. I'll release for you the first 10 seconds. So what happens is I set it up Survivor Man style, sweating, because I just run back to the villa to get the ring because I saw that the lighting was perfect. I was like, before breakfast, 7 a.m. before breakfast, let me go run back in my flip flops, get it, swat a spider out of my way with this thing, cut my finger, get the thing, run all the way back, sweating, set it all up perfectly, ready to go, and then she's hangry, she's ready for the food.
Not hangry, but we had already gotten our food.
Yes,
the energy I take to go to the bench swing. It's a bench swing on a palm tree. So a leaning palm tree bench swing overlooking Thailand with a big Thai dock and everything set up. So the energy I take to go sit down on the bench swing, I didn't account for my momentum. So I hit the bench swing. It's a minimal. I didn't fall all the way, but it was enough to like flare my limbic system and kind of jolt back, and I almost went head over heels with a fucking ring in my pocket. Going for it. So that I
love this level of chaos and stress.
I'll put the video on the Patreon because that's not a shit I want to share with the world. That there's something that 10 seconds before that happens, because I shared the post engagement video, which was nice because it was like us just coming off the bench and like that happiness, but I haven't shared the actual moment, and I don't think it's worth sharing, because it's like I was just a fucking mess, man. You'll never understand.
No, I'm sure. I mean, I remember one Valentine's Day, I was single in college. It was like junior year, I think, and I was like, I'm gonna ask a guy on a date, and I have never been so nervous. It really gave me a lot of respect because you have to be, it's really nerve-wracking.
Now look, it doesn't mean it's right when a guy gets rejected to be like, well, fuck you anyway, you whore. Like but the rejection you feel that on the inside. It's not right to say it. I mean, I've been rejected by Tasha several times before we started dating, and on the inside I'm like, ugh, but outside I was like, cool, good. No, friends are fine.
Your adrenaline is
so
up,
high.
You have to that's what I think it is. Your adrenaline's up because you have to rev yourself and convince yourself this is an okay thing to do. So yeah, I'm sure that if you get rejected, the crash is just like,
And it's the most intimate thing. Your family's not rejecting you. Your friends aren't rejecting you. This is the closest you open up your heart, and then you're at a nightclub, I'm gonna go dance with that girl, and then you look over and her friends are all doing the cut off on the neck thing. Every guy's had that where the friends are doing the cut off on the neck thing, like, don't dance with this guy, and you're like, cool, I'll go fuck myself right now, and then you walk away, and that's it.
It's definitely it's hard.
Did the guy say yes?
No, the guy was in a relation. But he had just started dating someone, and I didn't know. So it was like, it was a rejection, but it wasn't like, it didn't feel super personal, but it did feel hard. And then I ended up asking someone else, and he said yes, and we went out to eat. And now he's getting married to one of my very good friends.
Wow.
We went on just like a nice date. It wasn't really like I just remember we both were like, it was like nice. But
does your friend know that you went on a date with him?
Yeah. Small school, small college. Yeah. We all kind of dated the same people.
What college were you at?
Middlebury,
Vermont. That is small.
It's a really small school.
Is that super hippie?
Yeah. It is in that it's in Vermont and there are a lot of hippie people, but then it's also kind of like preppy. I would say.
Interesting.
I learned about like Patagonia there.
Yeah, of course you have to.
Yes.
Ben and Jerry's in Patagonia. If you're in Vermont, that's how far away is that from Seekonk? I keep wanting to say Swansea.
I want to say like 5. It was.
Wow, 5 hours.
It's like 5 hours. Yeah.
New England's big, but we're only from half an hour away from each other.
I know.
That's like a close area.
Yeah.
How much family did you get to see that came to the show that you did?
I've done a lot of shows in Rhode Island at this point, so I feel like a lot of my family's been to other shows. This show, I had like some cousins and stuff, but no, not a ton of like first.
Is it weird seeing you had fans at the show with like had like your what was on their t-shirt?
They had like we found Charlene because I do this like Boston character whose friend is like her friend Charlene is like always drunk and missing, and so they said we found Charlene. It was really nice. It was like very. I think it's been a cool thing. Like, you know, a lot of stand up I think is like winning. You know, a lot of the early years of stand up is like going on stage and people initially not wanting to think you're funny and winning them over and like convincing them you're funny. And it's been nice. Like, you know, when I have fans at a show, there's this feeling of like, oh, I don't have to convince them. I just get to kind of be myself.
It takes away the first part of your act where you're like, I need to build empathy with the audience.
Correct. And it's like, it feels like such a gift, especially from coming from like, you know, doing tough rooms in New York as like a young person, like at 4 p.m. and like basements, those shows you're just, you know, the whole time praying that they like. Well,
that's kind of like to bring it full circle because we got to get out of here. That's kind of like a long-term relationship. You don't have to. You've already built the empathy. You're not performing to the hard New York crowds. You're performing to a fan. You're performing to a fan, and there's a lot of like just comfort there. Yeah. I'll call Tasha a critical fan. Yes, a critical fan. She'll still tell me when a joke's not funny, and I'll go, I'm going to work this joke out till you're wrong. Yeah. Maybe I am stubborn. Maybe I am. Yeah. But yeah, that is. I mean, yeah, there is something crazy about stand-up where the hardest it ever will be is getting the momentum going, and then as you build your fan base and build your identity, the right people will come and find you, and then you dig harder into that specific thing that you do. You're not trying to convince everyone. You're like, okay, we all agree on that. We see the world similarly, and it's hard. Comedy's hard enough that it's good. If you can get 20% of the room on board to start, it's like, Jesus Christ, it's hard enough. The shit that we, you know, perform in front of or try to do. But do the Mimosa show next time you're around. Wait, I will. And Luke too, when he's around too. And we'd love to have him. If you guys ever want to come on the podcast together, we'd love to have you. Okay, great. And he'll be at the show and he'll go, what's that great smell? Yeah. And I'll say, well, his ball sack is have you preserved your crops? And refreshed, yes. I can't help but feel like there's a pH balance to your nuts. He's like, fucking get away. I'm going to make sure to give him some more he gives. We're going to get Luke sponsored by Manscaped as well. Okay, thank you so much for being on the podcast. It was so nice to get to know you on here. Great being on here. You guys are great. I'm very excited for your marriage. I feel very confident in it. I'm very thank you. We'll invite you to the destination. You can come hang out with it. Well, listen. Bring your mom. Yeah, bring your mom out. Alyssa Limperis. Yes. Tasha Gorney. I'm Dave Neal. That's the episode. Bye, everybody. Bye.